The next stage is the strengthening and exercise phase. So this is the body weight and weight exercises. So the weights I would be getting Callum to do would be, the first exercise would be calf raises. And this is shown here in calf raises number 1. So all those 3 photos there. Okay, so to improve the calf raises, if it's too easy, you'd add a ledge to get that more flexibility to make him have to push harder. And if that's still too easy, then you add weight, so holding weight, so it makes it heavier, more strain for him to push. If calf raises are too hard though, then you could possibly decrease the reps he's doing of the calf raises, or increase the reps between the sets. I'd get Callum to do about 25 reps for 3 sets, 30 seconds rest, 30 seconds rest in between. The second exercise will be front step squats. This is shown in picture number 2, all those 4 photos there. To improve, if front step squats are too easy, then to improve it, you could add weight to make it harder, a bit more strain. And if that's too easy, then you could add a wobble board, so he has to work on his balance and work on that stability in that ankle as well. If front step squats are too hard though, you could decrease the reps, the amount he has to do, or increase the rest period time. What Callum would be doing would be about 15 reps for 3 sets, and 1 minute rest in between. The third exercise will be squats. This is shown in number 3, all those 4 photos there. If squats are too easy though, you'd need to add weight. This puts more strain, makes it harder. And if that's too easy, you'd add a wobble board, so it works on the balance, stability in the ankle, making sure it's strong and stable. If squats are too hard though, you could decrease the reps he has to do, or you could increase the rest period again, so like the front step squats and calf raises. 4 squats he do about 20 reps, 4 sets and 1 minute rest in between. And then the final exercise will be box jumps. This is shown in picture number 4 down there, those 2 photos there. As you can see, he's squatting down to jump, and then he's up there. Okay, so for box jumps, if box jumps are too easy, you can increase the box height he has to jump, so he has to like push harder. And if that's still too easy, then you could add weight, so it's like more weight to jump with, so he has to push much harder. If box jumps are too hard, you could decrease the actual box height, and if that's too hard, then you could just do vertical jumping, so you're not actually having to jump up onto something. Callum will do about 15 reps for 3 sets with 1 minute in between for the box jumps. Okay, moving on to the sport-specific sport-specific training focus. So this will be looking at introducing lateral movements and stuff, introducing speed drills and sport-specific exercises, really. Okay, so the exercises he'll be doing is, the first one will be ladders. So this is shown in picture number 1 there, ladders. If ladders are too easy, the reason he'd be doing ladders actually will be increasing that speed, getting that fast footwork back in, getting that ankle moving well. If ladders are too easy, then he'd have, I'd make him do more reps, and if that's then too easy, I'd add more exercises to add a bit of variety, make him work harder, make him think more, make that ankle move in different directions. If ladders are too hard, then you could do less reps possibly, or you could just do simpler exercises, maybe moving in and out of cones, stuff like that. He'd do about 5 reps, 8 sets, maybe 5 different types of ladder exercises. The next one is cone agility. This is shown in picture number 2 there on the left hand side. Cone agility is working on fast movements, change direction quickly, turning on that ankle, jamming that ankle into the ground and springing off it. If cone agility is too easy, you could add more reps into it. And if that's too easy, you could aim to beat previous times, so make it a bit of a competition, make it a bit of a challenge to run in zigzag round the cones as fast as you can. If cone agility is too hard, you can maybe do less reps, or if that's then too hard as well, you could decrease the amount of cones he has to zigzag through. For the cone agility, he'd do about 5 reps, 3 sets, something like that. The next exercise is suicides. So like I said before, suicides, this is in picture 3 down there, as you can see on the right hand side. Suicides is just working on, just running on that ankle, springing off it, change of direction, sprinting on it, stuff like that. Just working on that fitness as well. If suicides are too easy, you could further the distance you have to run, has to run, or increase the amount of reps he has to do. If suicides are then too hard, you could decrease the reps he has to do, or just make it into a shorter distance he has to run. For suicides, you do about 10 reps, 3 sets, something like that. Just working on that fitness. The final exercise is the broad jump. So the broad jump is as standing still, jumping as far as you can forward, landing on your feet. This is shown in picture number 4 there. The exercise is doing there. If a broad jump is too hard, too easy, then you could aim to beat the previous score, so where you jump before, mark it, and then try and beat it. But if that's then too hard, you could do it one-legged on that leg, really work on stabilizing that Achilles and ankle, really working on strengthening that. If broad jump is too hard, you could aim for shorter distances, not jump as far. And if broad jump is then too hard altogether, you could do something like vertical jump, where you don't have to put too much strain on that ankle. For the broad jump, you do about 5 reps for 3 sets, something like that. Just working on that jumping, working on getting that ankle ready to be jumping up for headers, stuff like that. Okay, so underneath the review phase and all that stuff, you have the graph of how the phases should go. So you have the inflammation phase. This is a very short phase, and you have the repair phase, which overlaps but lasts a bit longer. And then you have the remodeling phase, which basically lasts the whole thing, which is like the scar tissue, stuff like that. Okay, so below you've got different like treatments they could use possibly. I've picked out 6 treatments Callum could use. These include taping, electrotherapy, thermotherapy, IASTM, and soft tissue massage, and then cryotherapy. So taping is just wrapping up that ankle, getting it nice and tight, stabilizing it, make sure it stays in place. Then electrotherapy is sending shocks, which reduces the pain, which can help reduce the pain. And then thermotherapy is heat on the ankle, good heat therapy for the muscles around it. The soft tissue massage is just light massaging around the ankle, around the muscle area, softening it up. And then cryotherapy is ice, which is like cold therapy as well. So like I said before, the numbers is 1 when it's not used, and then 5 when it's really used, and then anything in between. As you can see, it goes along with the months and the days, so the furthest over here is the end of it, and the start over here is the start of the injury. So as you can see with taping is used primarily at the start, and then as the injury goes on and starts healing, it's less and less used, allowing it to move, stabilize itself, stuff like that. Electrotherapy is used right at the start to really reduce that pain, make sure you can't feel the pain, that's what it's used for, and then by the end when there's no pain, it's not used at all. Thermotherapy is normally used around the middle, can't use it at the start too much because there's too much pain, and then at the end it's not really needed. IASTM isn't really used at the start, it's more used at the end because it's about scraping off that scar tissue that's built up, so you can't use that at the start because that'd be way too painful. Soft tissue massage, like the IASTM, can't be really used at the start because there's too much pain, can't really be putting too much pressure on it. It's normally used at the end just to massage the muscles, relax them after working out, stuff like that. And then the cryotherapy, used kind of at the start, not really used by the end because it's not needed. It helps reduce swelling, helps reduce pain, but by the end of the injury that's not really a factor anymore. Below that is the line graph of how that would look, so you can see the different phases of the different kind of treatments that would be used. Then treatment overview, so this is just like a recap of what we've been through. So the inflammation phase will last 2 to 5 days, only acute phase, working, reducing inflammation and swelling, so like pure rest. The repair phase will be like 4 to 6 weeks long, functional movement and partly strengthening exercises, so like body weights, working on proprioception and strengthening, for example dynamic and ballistic stretches and body weights. And then the remodeling phase, which is like strengthening and sport specific phase, working on the strengthening and working back into playing football again, and he'd do this by doing like weight exercises and agility training. So Callum will be set some goals during this time, so the short term goals will be reviewing each goal and training focus for the last week of each one, so highlighted in yellow like we've been through before. Mid-term will be regaining 70 to 80% of match fitness, regaining full ability to pass and shoot with that injured ankle, injured Achilles, and then reviewing all the goals making future ones to keep motivation and morale high. And then long term would be getting back fully playing again, getting back that ankle really fit and healthy so he can be an effective player again.